Hello. I've missed that.
It's been how long?
God knows.
It's like I think we're upwards of 6 weeks now.
Sounds about right.
It's episode 75, 1 month ago. 6th of July. And we are now on the I'm sorry, the audio that was actually playing, I thought I paused it. I did not. But yeah, 6th of July. So that's yeah, because it's June 1st. Yeah, so we're about 6 weeks. It's been a while with numerous delays and people not being around and technical troubles.
Yeah, I've got them sorted out now, at least.
Yeah. Oh god. So, the big news, for those who weren't in the know, Shinzo Abe died, unfortunately.
Is that where it's starting?
Yes. From the moment it happened, I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be great fucking podcast content," because he's got to know like some things and stuff, and then it's been a while. When did that happen? If this is the 6th of July, oh, obviously it happened like just before we recorded this, or probably just after. If I go.
I was thinking, did I?
Did he?
Did we not already talk about it?
No, no.
Okay.
That's when he was in office. We're talking about when he fucking died. Well, it said he was in office as a member of the House of Representatives until the 8th of July 2022. So I think that might have been when he carked it. Yeah, 8th of July. Damn. Getting sacked and killed on the same day. Fucking terrible. So,
Right.
what can you tell us about Shinzo Abe?
Okay.
Also, am I pronouncing it right? Is it because it's certainly not Shinzo Abe, is it?
No, you're right. Shinzo Abe. Actually, let me see if there's a diacritic. Shinzo Abe.
Yeah, there is a line above the O.
So it'd be Shinzo Abe.
All right.
Well, Abe Shinzo.
I'm looking at the Wikipedia article. Not reading it, just.
So, yeah, I'm sure. See, I feel like I've talked about it already on the pod, but I've had to talk about it with a lot of people because I think I said it like at the time. I felt like I was some fucking Japan news correspondent. So people who I haven't talked to in quite a while, who like their only thing is, oh yeah, I went to school with him and I think he's studying Japanese. I was like, all they know about me, being like, hey, so this Abe guy got shot. Like, so I was asleep when it happened. I should say, like, I woke up to messages about this. Yeah, I've appraised myself somewhat, but to anybody read on the matter, I'm probably not going to be able to illuminate anything too crazy.
Well, I mean,
at
this point, is going to be about as much of a refresher as anything for me.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll just jump into it.
I've since forgotten like the where was I when this happened. Like I've forgotten that. Chances are I was at my desk, playing games. But I think I remember checking Discord and people talking about No, that's what I remember. I remember my fucking Twitter feed just becoming like this wall of text as
In
the like
Japanese, all the artists.
yeah, all the artists I follow for images are now writing like messages of condolences and shit. It's like, wow. Um and then like everything went back to normal after like 2 hours.
Yeah, cycle moves fast.
Oh,
Okay,
that and I
so
also think a lot of them might have like fucking what's it called? Like loaded tweets and shit to like post this image at like 5
no,
p.m. JST. So it's like, oh, the news comes in, and then the scheduled tweet fucking has a go at it.
right.
Anyway, I won't interrupt you now.
Alright, so he was yeah, he was just he stepped down for from the prime ministership for health reasons, but there was talk of him coming back. He's still in charge, like leader, like the Abe faction of the party of the LDP, the Liberal Democratic Party, is very strong. So there was talk that he might be coming back. Um, on the day he was giving endorsements to other members for the. If I'm not mistaken, it was the election of the lower house of representatives, but I might not be right on that. But some election, and yeah, he was endorsing candidates, giving speeches, and yeah, he was shot with an improvised, homemade device, which I'm not the designated gun correspondent of Sad Baron Guy.
I guess that's me. I don't remember much of it now, but I mean, I do, but I don't. Like it. It was a freaky looking like shotgun fucking thing.
Yeah.
Um,
But, oh yeah.
it's one of those ones where I don't remember much about it, just like the reaction to it, which was, in my opinion, fucking disgusting. From
So
the right more than the left, to put it in those kind of like terms, because like and maybe it's just the people I like observe, but it was just the shittiest like the anticipation of something sort of things, but it's like going, oh wow, look how like all those gun laws defended them, to try and make it about like American politics and shit, and it was like, no.
yeah.
In the bluntest form, just no. There's trying to think how to phrase this. Like the reason people are asking for gun control in America is very, very unrelated to political assassinations.
Yeah. Yeah. And even still, like it's a. Right, fuck. I'm not talking about this. We're not talking about this. We're
Yeah,
not talking about American
I mean,
shit. Yeah.
I'm not a fan of too soon, but also too soon.
Yeah. So, yeah, the guy shot him, was arrested. The justification that he gave was that he was, which I found quite interesting, because I did study some of these, not the Unification Church specifically. Sorry, let me define the point first. He claims that he shot Abe because of links and endorsements that Abe Shinzo had given to the Unification Church. The Unification Church, he alleged, had swindled his mother out of all of her money and ruined their lives. and so it was a way of revenge. That's his justification. Now, I've not done too. I know of the Unification Church prior to this. They're referred to as the Moonies, derogatively. But I'm very aware that basically because of Japan's American written constitution, certain freedoms are enshrined that were not prior to this, and it's led to some consequences. One of them is religious freedom. A big part of Japanese politics was the persecution of Christians, mainly Christians, but of all religious movements. And prior to 1860, and in the imperial age, leading up and during World War II, there was state-sponsored Shintoism. So the Americans were very, some Americans wanted Christianity, wanted to evangelize, but a lot more just wanted, like, we can't have this, we can't have Japan's religions and shit being used this way. So there's I think the strongest in the world, like, religious freedom laws that are heavily exploited by what we would call as cults and stuff that do prey on people. I'm sure anybody who's watched a good amount of Japanese TV / anime, there are various cult plot lines and shit like that,
Yeah, even outside of like fiction, I have gotten the impression from a lot of things that there is just really, weird sex and shit. That's CT, not X. It's also weird sex, but like I look for that stuff. So
yeah, there's I mean, a lot of people will. I think the most famous is Shinriko, responsible for the sarin gas attacks.
Yeah.
Which, side note, is why you can't find a fucking bin in Tokyo. Jesus Christ! Like, I know they put shit in bins, but oh my god, like, they have very strong littering laws, which is good, fuck littering. But man, it's hard to find a fucking bin at times. It really fucking is, because
so to contrast what I said about like this fucking like just bringing up like US gun laws and this, it's like dude's literally banned bins.
But yeah, it's very hard. So yeah, he these like cult movements. Fun fact about the Unification Church: their founder would give enlightenment by sleeping with women and inseminating them.
Oh fuck!
And then them having sex with their husbands would give the blessing to them as well. I don't think that's still practiced. I think that was just the founder, but those are the illustrious beginnings of the Unification Church. But it's a Korean church, but most of its money comes from Japan. But the thing is that Japan's politics are... it's very easy just to say, oh, they're conservative. The issue we have here is that conservatism is a relative term depending on whatever country you're in. And it's very easy, cough, cough, America, to, when you hear conservative, to just assume that it's the same as in your country, and it's not. For example, pretty much all conservatives in the UK believe in free healthcare, like it's and have more gun control laws, for example.
Not even that, but just there's always going to be the issues of trying to put it on a linear scale.
Exactly.
Without like understanding the past 500 years of history.
Yeah, and you've got economic conservative, socially conservative, and same with liberal. It's so just to use the term like, oh, Japan is a conservative country is very reductionist. It's not that simple. But in terms of Japanese politics and what the West considers, I would say fairly socially and economically conservative. Is while reductionist, it's a decent starting point.
Yeah, like
And so a lot
I
of these,
I
yeah,
don't think they actually have the free healthcare, do they?
they do.
Oh, I was under the
They
impression
do.
that they didn't, but at the same time, it was like what America's system should be, i.e., not
Yeah,
like fucked over by insurance companies.
well, it's technically not free healthcare, but technically no country has like free healthcare. It's single payer healthcare, and Japan does have that. Yeah, like most countries, you might be expected to pay a fiver, a tenner or something.
Yeah.
It's but yeah. So they're not identical. It might be closer, but yeah, functionally, it is a what we would call free health. Anyway, so because of this conservative worldview, the Unification Church and similar organizations do promote traditional family values, and thus conservative politicians like the Liberal Democratic Party, which is the main conservative party, often give endorsements. And there were ties with Abe's paternal grandfather, Kishinobusuke, also indicted war criminal.
Based.
He did have active links with the Unification Church. So there were definitely some ties,
So
but
you're
yeah,
telling me that fucking Shinzo Abe's mum fucked the leader of Unification Church and then fucked her husband?
no, they were never members.
Oh.
Sorry, that's your Dojin idea gone. I'm very sorry.
No, it's not a Dojan idea, it's just funny.
um, but yeah, honestly, it's a sad story. Like the guy, like his mother, the guy's mother, issued an apology, not to Abe Shinzo, but to the Unification Church because his actions inconvenienced them. So she's pretty down the fucking rabbit hole, and yeah, it's sad.
Which yeah, it doesn't surprise you, but
Yeah, hearing like, oh, she's like given hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars, to them, and they basically live in poverty. Does not surprise me from other things I've heard and seen, and this like it's pretty extreme, but it does happen. It is documented. So yeah, it fucking sucks. And the guy is clearly just fucking breaking. He didn't mean to. Abe was a thing of convenience. Apparently, he was going for somebody else. He was going for he was going to do like a shooting at a Unification Church center, but then found that Abe was last minute holding an endorsement speech, and thought, well, fuck, I'll go for him. So, I'm not going to give any hot takes or whatever. It's a man was killed. Yeah, and the guy who did it is clearly went through a lot of shit. That's it really. And Japan has the death penalty, and he killed a former prime minister. He is dead. He is a dead man. He is not getting out. So 99.81 conviction rate. So that guy's donezo.
yeah, the judicial system in Japan is a bit funny, but we don't talk about that.
Yeah, that's one way to put it. There's a lot of faith is put into it. The idea that basically the police can't fuck up, like don't fuck up. So if charges are brought against you, they're only bringing those charges against you because they have enough evidence to convict. Therefore, you will always be convicted. Japan has a higher conviction rate than the People's Republic of China. and China has a 99% conviction rate. Like, yeah, it's pretty extreme. That yeah, if charges are brought against you in Japan, like, there's pretty much no chance. But there are like release valves in it. Like a guy was I can't remember exactly what the case was, but I think it was for the poisonings after World War II. And he was a porn artist, which is why but he was arrested and found guilty and sentenced to death. But there was enough doubt in the case that no uh, Justice Department Minister of Justice ever
Carried it out.
carried out the sentence. But, so that was the release valve, that they never actually did kill him, but he did spend his life in prison and was most likely definitely innocent. Yeah, it's fucked up.
Also,
But anyway,
apparently,
that's
the being in prison itself is also some weird psychological experience, from what I've heard.
yeah, it's death row especially is you're never told that you are going to be killed. So I believe the only way you find out is if you don't get breakfast that morning. That's how you know. And so what they do to psychologically torture is push back things like breakfast, or like have guards hang outside cells so their shadows are casting in to make it look like they're going to, just to fuck with them. Yeah, and it's done very quickly. You know, it's hanging. Your family are not notified beforehand. Just happens. You're not notified. And normal prison, yeah, I've heard is silence. You don't talk. You know,
I've heard like weird shit like they'll get you to just walk around in a fucking circle.
Yeah.
Like in a like almost a conga line, and you don't say shit, and you stop when the guards fucking tell you to. It's bizarre. Like, I'm not gonna say whether or not it's good or bad, especially compared to other systems where it seems to be sort of just a holding cell, and what happens inside happens. And
yeah,
I mean, this isn't even getting into whatever the fuck the Yakuza gets up to on the inside.
yeah. I don't know. I'm not. I have a good book about like, it's like the only academic book on the Yakuza. Not sensationalist, but I haven't got around to reading it. Sorry.
Oh no, just laughing.
At what?
Sensationalism.
I've talked about it before regarding Japan. Anyway, yeah, that's Abe Corner. You know, a man was killed. It sucks.
All you had to do was copulate. It's not hard. Could have stopped all this. You were just fucking.
We could have. So, yeah, but that's not the big thing that's happened.
Really?
in personally, in our lives, I guess it isn't.
So, the other big thing that happened between all this, I went to England for like 3 weeks.
Indeed.
It's a country, all right. Thanks for coming, everyone. Oh god.
So, are you just going to talk at length here?
I don't know. I know, first of all, I should probably pull up my notes. And by my notes, I mean I like had a little notepad on my phone where I just wrote like prompts for things. to at least try and prevent myself from bouncing around too much. Otherwise, this is gonna get messy. The other thing, I don't know when I'm gonna do it, but the goal is to sort of like congregate all of the pictures that I've gathered over the past few weeks and then try and subdivide it out so that like all of the food is in this album and with like annotations, and this is all the military autism. So hopefully links in the description. I also need to get the photos off my girlfriend because she's got like half of them. Hence why I haven't done it now. But yeah, I also don't know if we're gonna try and do everything today and then break it up, because this is absolutely not gonna be a 1-part thing. I'll fucking tell you now. He shuffles.
Sorry, I hit my elbow on the old stand.
On the what stand?
The old stand, you know.
Yeah, so I don't know how we'll do it. We'll see how it goes. All right, starting from the top. Day one. I thought I was gonna put this into days. This fell apart very quickly after I realized that I was gonna lose my perception of time. So after that, it's kind of just like broken up into blocks, which aren't necessarily relevant to a day because some days nothing would happen. But day one, hospital didn't want my plasma. So for those who don't know, I regularly donate plasma, and I had planned to do it the week before I left, but I had a cold which pushed that back. So the next most convenient available slot was 3 hours before my flight. And the moment the nurses knew that, they didn't want anything to do with me. So
did they give a reason why?
Yeah, because it was delayed. Like if something goes wrong and I'm suddenly 10,000 kilometers away,
Oh, yeah.
that's an issue.
Yeah.
Nothing. I'm confident nothing would go wrong, but I mean, that they got to cross their T's and dot their I's. So
Yeah, but
I didn't end up donating the plasma. What happened after that? Plane to Auckland arrived late. That was like 15-20 minutes. Don't even know why it's worth mentioning. Macca's sucks. I went to Macca's in Auckland and I was sorely disappointed. I feel like the quality of the food has actually dropped since the last time I had McDonald's. Like, my apple pie that I got was... It felt like it was mostly full of air. I might have got 2 or 3, like, segments of apple. Well, not even segments, but, like, bits of apple in it. It was a terrible experience. And it's also really fucking expensive these days. The price of McDonald's has, like, easily doubled from the numbers that I always kept in my head.
Yeah,
like
nuggets here went up by like 25%.
Yeah, but like, I mean, so this is a good example of things like the 99er. You know what the 99er is. The soft serve and the flake, and it's called a 99er because it costs 99 pence. That used to be about like $1 here, but it now costs like $2.50. It's stupid.
Yeah.
But in the case of us, like the 50-cent cone is also like $1 now. So, which is just the soft serve without the flake. So, not happy with McDonald's. Almost got lost en route to international terminal. So there was construction going on at Auckland International Airport, which meant that the footpath from the regional terminal to the international one wasn't available. So you had to get a bus. They told me like over the intercom, like if you're heading to international terminal, get the like bus at platform C or whatever the fuck. So I went over there after I got the McDonald's because I knew where the McDonald's was relative to the regional terminal, and got on the first bus that showed up, and it was not the bus that went to the international terminal.
Wait, so where the fuck did you go?
I think I went to the staff car park. Like, I just hopped on the first plane, and then, like, everyone else that got on looked like, you know, an air hostess or, you know, a baggage handler. And then they all got off at this one stop. And it's like, oh, this doesn't look right. And then I like went one more stop, and then was like, okay, I need to like ask questions. And so I asked him, I was like, this isn't going to the international terminal. It's like, no, but the bus that we literally just stopped next to is.
Oh, so you just hopped on?
Yeah, so I just like got off this and hopped on. And thankfully, like this is all complimentary buses. Like I'm not paying for this shit.
Yeah. I know that. Yeah.
I didn't. So, okay, this is the other thing to like preface this entire trip. This isn't gonna just be my experience of the United Kingdom. This is gonna also be basically my experience of going out. Like there is a lot of things that happened on this trip that aren't just a UK exclusive thing. This is gonna be me like surprised by going out to dinner and then getting handed the bill afterwards. Because I don't eat fancy, like ever. Like I probably haven't had a meal that had the bill come afterwards since I was like 10. And I wasn't paying back then. Yeah, so it was almost getting lost, but got on the plane, and this was at about midnight. So I've been up since 4 a.m. because I went to work that day. So I've been up like, what is that, 20 hours before I'm even leaving the country. This'll play into like the next 36 hours of flying. Because it turns out I cannot sleep on fucking planes.
Yeah, it can be hard, yeah.
It's almost like I'm 6'2" and I'm sitting in a fucking sardine can. I wrote here, slave ships are preferable to flying.
That's a take.
I stand by it. Like I would have had a more comfortable experience if I was, because you know how they put them on the fucking slave ships, right? How like everyone's shoulder to shoulder, but they're all like lying down. And so I'm sitting there in this fucking airplane seat, like what I wouldn't fucking give to lie down. Just, I mean, without the like 6 weeks of travel, like if it was, you know, a slave plane, I would like a slave plane.
Okay. That's what you're going with. You want a slave plane.
I would like a slave plane. I would. What did I say after this? I hate screens in front of me. I don't know where I'm going with this. A very elongated A. The neck rest is halfway down my back. This was true. Like again, I'm 6'2". These headrests are like way the fuck down, like below my shoulders, and I couldn't figure out for the fucking life of me how to like lift it up. I saw some people did. Mine for some reason just couldn't. Where am I going with it? Oh yeah, airline food is actually decent.
Yeah. Well,
Like,
I mean, okay, that's a big one on like depends what you fly on.
okay,
yeah.
so I will say, so, okay, to preface this again, all my flights were handled by Singapore Airlines.
Yeah, they're a good one.
Yeah,
They're known
and
for being.
I would say like there was one, things tasted good, and there was a nice variety of like everything.
Hmm.
I don't think over the, because there was, I would have had about 8 meals because there was like 2 per flight, and I did 4 flights total, and I don't think I had the same thing twice.
Hmm.
It, like, maybe in the sum total, yes, but like everything was a different combination of like fish or prawns or chicken, and then like with rice or noodles or like potato. Sometimes mashed, sometimes just little like cooked pieces of potato.
Hmm.
But yeah, it was a nice array of things. I actually had fucking tofu and noodles for breakfast on the way to Singapore because I fucking hate baked beans, and baked beans were on the menu. Also pork sausages. That was the other thing. Probably won't get that on like fucking Qatar Airlines. But yeah, I liked the food. The food was nice and also decently portioned, I guess. Like you could say they're on the smaller side, but then also this is to like keep you satiated while you're sitting in a fucking tube. Like you're not running around. You don't need to eat a lot.
Yeah.
So in that, I didn't, like, even when I was in the layovers, I was rarely hungry. So I felt quite satisfied with the food, but I did end up like picking things up occasionally, especially on the way back. But we'll get to that later. So this is, yeah. So first flight was like 10 hours. Landed in Singapore at around 6 a.m. their time, and I don't know what it was, but Singapore just smells like tobacco and cologne. Maybe that's just a fucking the airport thing, and just I guess that's the other thing. The stores and fucking duty free.
Yeah, so can I just quickly
go for it. Go for it. Feel free to jump in whenever you want.
Have I talked on the pod about a certain business I ran, an importing business?
Not really. Not that I can think of. Not in any official sense when you say an importing business.
Okay, right. Well, just for the flow of the conversation, pretty much all the people who I did the importing for were all from Singapore. So your description does not surprise me at all. Okay, continue.
Yeah. Oh, you're talking about tobacco.
Don't say it. I'm not. I think I'm. No, I can't say anything. Fuck. Move on. Continue.
No, but I mean it makes sense. I mean Southeast Asia is very laxed in that regard. Like we have the same sort of tobacco laws the UK has, where everything's like taxed 300%.
Yeah.
And it's all in that plain packaging. Except it's not plain packaging because they like plaster pictures of fucking clotted lungs and shit. Like this is what happens when you smoke.
Have I told you that I was once at the local corner shop and a guy asked for whatever brand of cigarettes he wanted, but then like specifically asked for I can't remember what it was now, but he wanted one of the pictures. Like just for example, like oh no, give me the lungs. Aye, give me the lung pack. Like it wasn't lungs, but like he said something like that. Like
can I get the one with like the bloodshot as fuck eye?
like
I want to look at that, not like organs. Yeah.
But yes, I think.
But yeah, just and this isn't just a Singapore thing, but the shit in fucking duty free, I have never seen more like Gucci fucking signs and like just all that big fashion brand stuff that I've heard about but never actually seen. Just all this Gucci and fucking Hugo Boss.
Yeah.
And so here's the thing that fucked me up about Hugo Boss, because I was sitting there zoning out watching like one of their adverts of just like pretty people wearing clothes, like buy our shit. Um, I swear there was a black man in there, and I'm sure I've seen him before. You know the guy who I think he's on like TikTok or something, and his entire shtick is that he just fucks with people that like overcomplicate things. You know, like oh, I've got this life hack for like what to do with like leftover jars, and he just like puts it in the recycling.
I think so. I think I know what you.
I swear that guy is like modeling for Hugo Boss.
It's just your way of saying all black people look the same.
No, black people do not look the same, and we'll get to that later.
Oh god, oh god, alright.
No, except not really. Like, but yeah, fucking Singapore airport is crazy. It's almost like city states these days. Like, shit, how do we like increase revenue? Fuck it, let's start an airline.
Yeah, it is. It is also ranked as one of the best in the world, and Singapore Airlines is a big deal. So, like,
Yeah, but like not even that, but like also the Gulf of Persia, and you know all of the airlines that are there.
yeah, I know. I normally fly Emirates, which is another one of these. Yeah,
That's the one I was thinking. I was like, no
yeah,
shit,
Emirates and
it's not.
Qatar Airways and all that. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, Singapore's the airport's nice. It's fucking huge, and like even in that little microcosm, you get that taste of Southeast Asia in the sense that you know how they say like how to cross the road in Thailand. The answer is basically like to take a leap of faith. That if you
Yeah.
just walk at like a steady pace, traffic will just flow around you.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like that, where
What?
just because they've got the little fucking mopeds and shit running around with like
Yeah.
all the trolleys and everything. It's crazy. All of this like movement and shit in a building, or like 3 buildings. It's a fucking tramway inside Singapore airport.
There is one in Detroit. Side note: Detroit Airport is actually one of the nicest airports I've ever been to, and it has a monorail in it. Big up Detroit Airport.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy like the tiers of like transportation where there's like these taxi services almost, and then you've got like the footpath, you've got the like that the footpath with the conveyor belt, and then next to it is the tramway, and I'm convinced that the tramway is the slowest, but it's for like fat retarded people, so fuck them. Oh, other side note, while we're talking about Singapore Airways, they do a fantastic job of picking their air hostesses. Very pretty woman. I was very pleased. And really nice like uniforms as well. They've got like the traditional sort of patterns and shit on like a almost thin like linen sort of thing. I used to have pajamas of it that my grandparents got when they took one of those fucking package holidays to Singapore when I was like 4. And I had those pajamas for a long time. They were good pajamas. I'm not saying the flight attendants were wearing pajamas, but they were wearing pajamas. Where were we going this? Oh yeah, well, I also wrote a note here. Unironically, all the fat people I'm seeing in this airport are British.
Based.
I will say now though, I will take that point back. The thing that I was genuinely surprised by the level of fitness I saw in people when I was in the UK.
Mm.
Although, granted, maybe this is biased because I'm also seeing the people that go out.
Yeah.
I'm seeing all the Deliveroo cyclists.
Mm.
God, there is a lot of them.
Well, we'll get onto that.
Yeah, we'll wait till we're in London. Oh yeah, and next one I've got here. Holy fuck! The lessons to Heathrow, the flight to Heathrow. Trying to learn from the lessons I learned in the last flight. So, the first time around, I was completely fucking unprepared.
Mm.
Like, I basically just went on to the plane the same way you go on to a plane, or like anything.
Wait, so you just said you went onto the plane the same way you go onto a plane?
Yeah.
You mean
Yeah, I know. Like, I went on there just as myself, and I think a large part of this played into like why the flight there was so fucking miserable. So I tried to learn from that, and when I was in Singapore, I got the like neck pillow. I got some decent fucking headphones so that I'm not using the shitty little ones that are basically just 50 cents of copper wire.
Mm.
And a piece of rubber to like stop you from electrocuting yourself.
Mm.
All of this like went out the window the moment I got on the flight to Heathrow. Like all of this preparation meant nothing because there was like a second step that invalidated everything I tried to do. So
wait, what's this?
So I mean, okay, flight there. I had a aisle seat. I seem to quite like these aisle seats because like I can like try and like dangle my leg out into the aisle and get some fucking circulation going.
Yeah.
Um,
I just stand so far.
I didn't get this on the flight to Heathrow. I got stuck in the middle of the middle aisle.
Middle's worst in my opinion.
Yeah, it's fucking horrendous. What also made this terrible was this was kind of like earmarked as a day flight. As in, so I left Auckland at midnight, and the plane kind of had the vibe that this was an overnight flight. So you know they like the lights were basically off for most of it,
like
so
a
that
red
people
eye.
could sleep.
Yeah.
And all that, so that people could get some sleep. This was a plane leaving Singapore at 9 a.m. It was bright the entire fucking way to London. All 14 fucking hours of it.
Yeah, you gotta get one of those eye mask things.
Yeah, I didn't get one of those. I still don't have one of those. But also, so I'm stuck there. I can't really use this fucking neck pillow while I'm stuck in this middle aisle. And the headphones didn't work. Because it has the 3.5mm jack, and airplanes use these like proprietary like 2-prong thingies.
Some do.
Some do. This is why I was caught out on it, because the flight to Singapore didn't have it. So up until this flight to Heathrow, I didn't even know this fucking existed. So I bought myself a nice pair of Sennheisers because that's I don't know, I brought an 8 pair of HD 202s like 7 years ago, and I've kind of had this brand loyalty since. So I brought.
I'm pretty sure we talked about this before, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, so I brought this pair like thinking, okay, I'm gonna be fine. And then I get on there, I was like, nope, there's this fucking, like, proprietary socket that I can't use. So I was mildly fucked off. And I also didn't grab a pair of, like, the free shitty headphones. Because I think,
thought you were
yeah, I thought, oh,
yeah.
I've got these nice ones. I came to learn on the return flight, just grab these no matter what. Even if you brought your own headphones, just bring them anyway, because they're useful for other things that I'll get into on the return flight when we get to the return flight in like 6 hours. And to top it all off, like the group of seats across from me had a fucking infant.
Oh,
The seats, the group of seats in front of me had an infant. And the group of seats in front of that seats had an infant.
I'm very sorry.
Honestly, it wasn't that bad. I didn't have a problem with the kids. It's the fucking parents I hate.
It's never the kid's fault. Like, that's the thing. Like,
Yeah,
you take a kid.
like, yeah, I know. Like, I want to fucking cry and scream, and I'm a grown man. I don't blame you, kid, but it's the fucking parents, especially the one that was like in the group in front of me. It was the single mother, and I just
here we go.
Yeah, and so it's 3 seats. So you got the single mother on the left, the kid in the middle, and this guy who's not related to them at all, but he just makes the most annoying fucking small talk about like having a kid. Like they're trying to hit on this fucking woman, and I hated this woman so much because she's this kind of like loony stay-at-home mum that we've kind of like almost a Karen sort of thing. Like, and again, because I'm wide awake this entire thing, I'm watching what fucking everyone is doing. And I'll say on this note, the amount of people unironically watching Morbius on flights.
I still don't believe this. I'm sorry. I still cannot believe this.
I easily saw like 16 people over all of these flights watching Morbius. I watched someone watch the fucking Uncharted movie like 3 times. And also say maybe people aren't actually watching this because
no.
I don't know how people actually watch. Just the amount of skipping forward people do on these. Like, they're not actually watching the movie. I've seen them literally, like, open up a movie and just, like, skip the first half of the fucking movie.
Yeah, but I mean,
and this isn't like, because I will say I also did this on a return flight where I was watching a movie, we landed, and, like, I picked up where I left off on the next flight. But we're talking like they're doing this like 4 hours into the fucking flight. Like they've had their chance to watch it. And I don't know, just I'm judging people.
Yeah, like flights make you behave in weird ways. Like it's it's just a thing. Like you can't judge normal people's behavior by what they do on a flight, I feel.
Yeah, anyway, where was I going with this? There's just loads of people watching Morbius, people watching movies and shit in weird ways. But this fucking Karen, and I know she's a Karen because I'm looking over everyone's shoulder, and I can see she's sitting there. She's got one of those fucking phony mask exemption passes on her phone. She never showed it, but she was always like caught with her mask off, and like when the flight attendant asked her to put it on, she just puts it back on. So it's just this weird like passive aggressive fucking resistance. Anyway, I hated her. Mostly just for that. Also, yeah, I'm wearing a mask this entire fucking time. I am acutely aware of like how bad my breath smells after like 2 days. Although I did end up tinkering around in the bathrooms, and I did find like the free toothbrushes. So that was nice. Also, I never got a window seat during any of this, probably because I didn't pay like the $20 at booking to like book a window seat. So I never got to see like anything out the window, except near the end, where a bunch of people who also didn't have window seats kind of were just gathering around outside a toilet looking out the fucking window. Like, dude, it's fucking Serbia. Let's go. That's just the time I remember looking out the window. I was like, oh, yeah, we're supposed to be like above Serbia right now. Also, it was another funny thing because I was watching the flight thing most of the time.
Yeah.
I wasn't watching movies, so I was just watching where I was going. The predicted flight path for like the first half of the journey from Singapore to Heathrow had us projected to go over Ukraine. And I was like, I was so fucking excited. But then around about Turkey, we did like do a turn and we like avoided it. And that's why we got to go over Serbia. God. Also worth pointing out at this point, this is also my first time on an international flight, so yeah, like if all of this is like painfully obvious to you, Mr. Worldwide out there listening to this, this is all news to me. I also wrote fag baby was all right. So the baby in front of the baby was the product of a gay couple.
Right.
Just that's it.
But that was one of the good ones.
Yeah, the fag baby was alright. Fag baby made no noise. Fag baby parents were alright. I don't know where I'm going with this. I'm just pointing out shit. Oh, my body is so crumpled over, I need to go to the bathroom to stretch and motion out a fart.
Yeah, I've been there.
Yeah. Like, you get to the point, it's like, I need to take a shit. And then nothing but gas comes out. It's like, wow, my insides are fucking folded over. Need fat fuck airways. Or I wrote that, and not even because I'm fat. I just need leg room. So I'll say after all this, I have been thinking like, how would I do this better if and when I need to do this a second time? And I was looking at the options like, how much does business class cost? And like, how much does first class cost? And it seems that the answer is like 3 to 4 and like 6 to 8 times respectively.
Yeah.
It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, because business class is like comped a lot of the time. So and it's short notice as well. Yeah. Like the thing is though, the jump from normal, like from economy to business is like pretty like that's the jump. From business to first, there isn't much, but like
yeah, because then you're going to literally like just double the price.
Yeah, and it's like
I don't know,
for a bit
like,
more leg room, for a bit, you can lie down. Like, okay, cool, but
they give me champagne that I won't fucking drink.
Oh shit! I mean, on fucking most things, they do that in economy. Not champagne.
Yeah. There was like wine going around, but I was just chugging down fucking water and orange juice.
I have to drink on a plane. Sorry, continue.
Fair enough. So I'm looking at this like, okay, well, what's the only other idea I can think of that can make this like almost more tolerable is to actually like sleep off the connecting flight. Like you land in Singapore, you stay the night in Singapore, and then you like leave the next time around. Like, granted, this is almost going to double the transit time, and if you're like strapped for that, that's probably would play into it. But I mean, as far as like things that give you legroom go, that costs a hell of a lot less than first or business class.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I will say through all of this, I don't think jet lag was an issue.
Mm.
Because it's one of these things where, so by the time I did arrive in Heathrow, it's like 5 or 6 p.m. So it's kind of like go to the hotel room and then just sleep and then wake up in the morning. No fucking jet lag. Just exhaustion. Um if I can imagine a distinction. And when I got back at like 4 in the afternoon and then slept like 16 hours.
Yeah. Sometimes
Yeah.
it can be fine, sometimes not.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of it just comes down to like how balked the changes. Like a quarter turn would probably give you jet lag to the point that like when you arrive at a weird hour and you've got like a full day before bed or something.
Mm.
But like the whole 180 and with along with like transit time, not so much. Probably also didn't help that I didn't sleep as much as like 56 hours of sleep deprivation can be a good thing. Uh,
Hmm.
uh, anyway, if I check the bullet points again, because I need to keep like. Oh yeah, so then yeah, landed in Heathrow, went through customs. The automated customs never fucking works. Uh, please scan your passport here. Oh, you're like 1 millimeter off. Go see the person sitting at the fucking desk. And then you get through. Um, got to meet my girlfriend for the first time. It was a very nice moment.
Mm.
Um, and then she threw me into an Uber to get me to where we're staying because that's preferable to trying to learn how the tube goes on this day. We'll learn about the tube later.
Mm.
God, I did not turn that off. Um, and then I slept, and then there was. Oh no, okay, so the convention is in this block of shit. Um, London smells bad. That's the first thing on the list. It felt like whenever I was walking down a street, either it smelled like marijuana or it smelled like sewage.
Mm.
Um, the sewage smell would be a trending thing through most of the UK, it seems. I
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, if it's like people are just shitting in the street or it's because your sewage system was built in like 1793 and it's just like 1 meter below the fucking footpath.
So, just so I can say for people listening, I've heard most of this already, which we'll
But
get on to. So,
yeah, so we did attempt to record while in the UK. It didn't go well, so
yeah,
he kind of
I've
just got updates and also the things he was there for. Yeah, spoiler.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I just wanted to explain why I'm not like sounding so like, oh, you did this, oh, you do that, like, yeah, because I
it's
know. But...
because he knows. Um, all right. Second point after London smelling, the amount of black people I saw. Now, this isn't me like hating on them. This is me just genuinely surprised. I have never seen so many black people in my life.
Mm.
Um, that's it. Just wanted to point that out that I saw black people.
Yeah.
Um, uh, so that this will be something that changes later on, but I found that the convention was pretty mid TBH on day one. I don't know what I was expecting, but I just didn't find it all that exciting, and I don't know if this is the conventions in general, or this convention specifically. Because the convention had problems. We'll get into that in a moment, but I don't know if this is like me just not enjoying it because I'm a boring old fuck, or just that there wasn't actually that much interesting at the convention. Like the dealer hall had nothing that interested me. A part of this has to do with there was literally 3 vendors selling Funko Pops. And I'm not talking like, oh, they've got like an array of everything and like here's like a stack of Funko Pops. And in like 2 aisles in a store. Like we're talking like 8 Funko Pops high and like 20 Funko Pops wide, and each vendor's got like 3 of these of just fucking Funko Pops, and there's 3 of them. 3 of these vendors, and the
like the pops.
Yeah, it boggled the fucking mind. Why there was 3 of them, and then a lot of the other ones didn't interest me. Like, obviously, there's like figurine resellers, and I'm kind of in the situation where it's going to be very, very rare that there's something out there that I want that I don't have.
Yeah.
Just because of the things I'm interested in are not commercially viable. Like, if you wanted ReZero or Demon Slayer, fucking eat your heart out, man.
Why are you going after the normies, man? Why are you hating on the normies?
I'm not hating on the normies. I'm just saying, like, I'm a victim of my own interests that, and this will also be a trend throughout the rest of the trip, because we went to a lot of like anime stores, which is a novelty to me because they like don't really exist where I'm from. Yeah, just the sad reality is that it's not commercially viable for a brick and mortar store to cater to me.
Yeah.
Except, like, it is, but not really, because I'm also the kind of person that will move heaven and earth to get something that I want. So, if a vendor played their cards right, they could like scalp the fuck out of me and people like me, but it's not happening. Yeah, so there was never really anything that interested me in terms of like the vendor hall. There was a bunch of so figurine resellers, Funko Pops, some like bigger artists, I guess, selling like their like prints and stuff. None of that really interested me. But I was probably saying, so this convention was Hyper Japan, the Hyper Japan Festival 2022, where it's kind of not supposed to be entirely weeby. So there was like this fucking booth about the Shinkansen and like a sake tasting thing, because it's not just Japan. There's also like some entertainment outside. Some actually kind of decent entertainment. I might try and remember that. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to like go through Twitter and shit. Although thankfully, thankfully, like, because it's over now, it's not like I need to trawl through news stuff to look through things. Yeah, so vendors. Oh, also, yeah, all when I'm talking about like these figures as well, they're also overpriced as shit. Like when, they are unironically selling like Rem figurines that I can buy off Amazon for half the price.
Yeah.
I mean, I get you got to make your money, but not really. A nice array of cosplayers. Like it didn't feel, at least in the first day, that anything was overdone. And like there was two yours from Spy Family, which was what is the kind of like big thing that was that this season.
Yeah.
I saw like one or two Marins from that cosplay anime that was the season prior. Obviously there was a lot of Genshin, but like Genshin's kind of got enough stuff in it that you don't see much of the same.
Mm.
Yeah, it was a lot of there was a decent um oh, there was a decent Lumine and one of the newer characters, white like demonish dude or white haired demon dude. I don't know his name. You might.
White-haired demon dude.
I don't know how else to describe. I think he wears like a purple shirt or something, but he's also mostly shirtless.
Oh, he might be one of the guys who's not out yet, but is confirmed.
Maybe.
Since Subaru is just is like in
I
next
think he's
week.
supposed to be from the Japan area. In Azuma. I don't know.
Oh my God, Ito! How the fuck did I think? Yeah, Ito, white hair demon dude.
So I saw a decent one of him, and like his partner was Lumine, the like main character female.
Yeah.
A lot of kids. There was a lot of kids, and obviously, like all the kids need like supervision. I had bubble tea for the first time, except not really. Because what threw me off was I went to one of the like bubble tea vendors at the convention, and they asked for toppings, but the tapioca balls are not a topping. It sits at the fucking bottom of it. So when they asked me like, "Do you want any toppings?" It's like, "No, not really." And then they just hand me like a cup of liquid. It's like, what the fuck? Also over this trip, I did confirm I just don't fucking like green tea.
Yeah.
It's not good. I'd wish people would stop like trying to make sweets out of it. What else happened the first day? Oh yeah, so the indie vendors. So what they call the fringe, what other people might know as the artist alley, which is like the cheap seats that you go to like sell your stuff. Which I was a part of. Worth pointing out. My first con I was supposed to be working, except not really. But everyone there's just a fucking fat lesbian. Just like no, I don't want to buy your like yaoi Genshin fan art that looks like shit. I did find one decent one there though.
What one decent yaoi Genshin?
No artist. He was drawing this like I don't know how to describe it, like gory gothic lolly kind of stuff, like fucked up Alice in Wonderlandy kind of things, where I did go up to him like, yeah, I'll take one of everything. And then I like find his Twitter and shit, and he's only got like 50 followers. which I found kind of sad. He needs some appreciation. I don't know where I put the. I know I put the link to it somewhere. If I check my Twitter,
put it in the description. Shit, I'll check it out.
Link in the description below. But like, I need to. If I check who I'm following, hopefully I haven't like followed 60,000 more artists. Oh, here it is. Damien Sketches at Damien Sketches on Twitter. Link in the description below. Yeah, so I've got like prints of everything you'll see there. I find them very underrated. Oh, Buttery now follows them.
Damn, your influences already.
Yeah. So that was like the only thing I bought at the entire convention. It was his work. Chairs cost $10. So I'm supposed to be working there, running a stall with my girlfriend. Which we all already had to like pay out the ass for, but they also tried to nickel and dime an extra chair for £10. And you know, we're talking like fold out chairs. So we didn't do that. That's just a point to whinge. Next point that I've got here. Literally more burkas in a London anime convention than a New Zealand mosque. Yeah, I don't know what it is. Just Muslims in London like anime, I guess.
There be Muslims. That's it.
There be Muslims. Not anything against them. Just found it interesting. The Amelia Watson shirt was funny. So there was some guy just walking around with a collared shirt of Amelia Watson from Hololive, which I found kind of funny. I don't think I got a picture of it, but if there is a picture of it, link in the description below. I've got a point here. Feels surreal getting YouTube notifications for videos at 5 p.m. instead of 5 a.m. and talking to friends at different times. That's it. Just like getting notified for videos that I normally expect in the morning, but now I'm getting them like in the evening. Crazy. It's almost like I'm 12 hours behind where I used to be.
No, I know it's like an inane thing to say, kind of, but like true though. True, it is weird.
I know it threw people off. When I kind of almost intentionally did it when I just woke up in the morning, like, good morning, my fellow Northern Hemisphere people. And like, why the fuck is Moon saying good morning at 9 a.m.? Not right.
I'm not racist, I just don't like it.
Day 2 of con. Saw a Barbara cosplayer from Genshin Impact. It was this awkward thing where it's like, they look 16, so there's no way I can like walk up to them and compliment them. So I literally had to ask my girlfriend, it's like, hey, if this Genshin cosplayer like swings by, can you say they look nice? And they did, but like, there was no way for her to fucking continue a conversation on that because she doesn't like know anything about Genshin Impact. So it was just this awkward as fuck nod. I also saw another Barbara later in the day.
Yeah.
Farting. The swimsuit one. I saw a swimsuit Barbara later in that day. That was also nice, but I think the original one was better. I saw a Rem that needed beans. It was a nice Rem cosplayer. Fat chocolate and the biggest, blackest coconut. So, yeah, there was a fat woman cosplaying chocolate from Nekobara. And, yeah, a woman a black woman about as fucking tall as I am, cosplaying Coconut.
Based.
Yeah, I mean, kind of was based. Yeah, credit to them. Literally greeting my girlfriend's simps.
Yeah, fuck. Hang on, I never thought about this. Oh fuck! Oh, you're living the people who pay. Oh, sorry, I got a bit carried away there.
No, I think your understanding of this is going to be better than anything I can say. Yeah. So there's she's very open about the people who talk to her. So like I know some of these people like from the names she gives them, and it was just kind of hilarious to like see all of these people and like know the weird shit they fucking say. And then like see them meet her in real life, and I'm just like sitting down, like casually on my phone, like listening into these conversations.
Is she? Can I ask? Is she open that she has a boyfriend? Or
If it comes to a point where it's naturally in conversation, yes.
Okay. Fair enough. Just wondering.
I don't know. I don't know for what. Again, like I at some point I do want to respect the privacy of these people, but also just fucking. Yeah, there's a Canadian one. He wasn't at the convention, but he is fucking hilarious. Because he sent her like genuine maple syrup, and I got to eat that like on pancakes while I was with her.
Damn, that is a level of cooking. Oh my god. Yeah. Oh god damn, that's cold.
No, it was quite warm because it was on pancakes. Most so at this point, like a lot of the I started seeing a lot more of the samey cosplays, and at this point the most seen cosplay that I saw was Raiden from Genshin Impact.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I'm assuming it's one of those things where like AliExpress has a decentish like pre-made.
She's very
yeah, and she's very popular, but it's not enough that one's popular, but also like it's got to be like feasible for people to do.
Yeah.
Like, you know, there's a lot of lolies out there that are really popular, but just people straight up don't have the body type for it, and they know it. Well, then I will say, like, while I said that there was a couple of yours, there was a really nice like the full-on family from that show, with the most dapper black man I have ever seen. You can find those on Twitter. It was fairly popular, so if you like search the convention and like put to most popular, you'll see the entire family. Also, the last note on day 2 that I'm coming to my terms with is Paywave, or at least what we in New Zealand call Paywave, what everyone else calls like contactless payment.
Oh yeah.
Because this was, I knew it existed. It's just something I had never done before, and I don't like it on principle. I don't like that someone can just have my card and spend my money. I think that's fucked. And I think it's fucked that we were trying to normalize this before the pandemic. But the pandemic gave everyone like a reason to really enforce it. I also did have a reason to try and go with it, because trying to enter my PIN abroad was a fucking hassle. Like every transaction
Why would it be a hassle?
I don't
Sorry.
know why, but I had to like sign receipts for every fucking thing I did where it wasn't contactless and on my card. Paying cash was cash. So I did have to like adapt to it. I'm hoping I can unadapt now that I'm back home, because I don't want this to be a normal thing for me. It feels like one of those barriers where you like stop and take well stop and take stock of the situation.
Mm.
You know, it's like, wow, do I really want to spend this money? And I'm not saying that contactless payment was the reason I spent a shitload of money, but I did spend a shitload of money on this trip.
It does make it just that little bit easier. It just removes that slight barrier,
Yeah.
you know?
So, I mean, I'll bring it up now. The amount of iced lattes and bubble tea I had on this trip, it was my first time having bubble tea while I was there, and like, not even just the amount I had, the amount of shops that sell it, especially in London, like,
Yeah.
everyone was selling it in London.
Sorry, excuse me.
It feels like the tapioca farmers like are bribing some fucking official to like generate business for them. It's crazy. It's good shit though. It's fucking delicious. And having something to chew on while you drink is it like there's a reason it's popular.
Yeah, oral fixation charts rise up.
Yeah. Um yeah, so I had a shitload of like ice lattes and bubble tea, and a lot of that was also to stave off heat. I did miss the big part of the heat wave.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
Yeah, the big 40-degree part that was melting the runways. But I mean, it was still really fucking hot when I got in, like low mid 30s, which is I don't know what it is in burger temperatures. I know that the 40 degrees is like 105, but you know we're talking like 95 to 100 degrees, I guess.
Yeah, I can read most imperial, but Fahrenheit, never. We don't use it here at all.
Yeah,
So.
it's it's not even one of those ones where I kind of have like some semblance of where things are at.
Yeah, I've got.
I'm starting to get there. The more I like, oh, it's like 10 degrees here. That's like 70 or something. I don't know. The issue is it isn't even the same like increments,
Mm.
or and because it's also not like stuck at 0, it fucks with you even more. It's I hate it. I had a dream. That's it. I didn't write a day 3 for the convention. Day 3 was kind of quiet, but I guess now's the point where I bring up like what a shit show the convention was. God, where do I begin with this? I have told you, haven't I? Yeah, I did tell you while we were in
Yeah.
Newcastle. I'm trying to remember because I have explained this before. Why am I struggling to explain it now? So I was helping run a stall, except not really, except yes. Like my job in running the stall was to be the runner. I go grab stuff so that my girlfriend can actually run the stall. And yeah, just between the heat and how the heat was handled, it was such a fucking shit show.
Mm.
Have I feel like I wrote this down as well, explaining it to someone. But yeah, so the heat was awful. Trying to like bust open doors was also really fucking bad.
What do you mean bust open doors?
Like getting doors open. Like there was this back and forth for like the first 2 days of trying to get security to open the door so that we can get a breeze in. But I think okay, so it's also now where I should probably point out like what the Fringe actually was, and I heard it described on Twitter as the place where the wedding catering should be done, and I would be inclined to agree with that, where it was hardwood floors, a sort of like translucent, thick, canvasy roof, so that it was like letting light in, but also letting heat in, I guess. It was fucking awful. And yeah, there's a struggle to get light struggle to get a breeze going. I will say that the dealing vendors, the one with the 3 Funko Pops, that was all air conditioned. The Fringe was not. So yeah, the heat was awful. And it especially got worse later in the day, where well, in the afternoon when the sun was actually like directly coming in right into our field of view as well. That was pretty fucking bad. And my girlfriend actually,
so how translucent was
the roof was like, it was one of those things like, you know how you can see like, I guess almost like frosted glass, if you think that level of like letting light in, except like canvas. But no, there's like windows up the top, but like not quite the roof that was also letting light in, and that was what was like going directly into our vision in the afternoons, because we're facing towards the sun by that time. And it was pretty fucking bad. My girlfriend actually kind of got injured from it. She got like an ulcery sort of thing on her right eye.
oh no.
A combination of just that and wearing like the direct sunlight, the heat, and wearing contacts, because she was cosplaying like all 3 days. Day 1 she was doing something from some idol thing that she enjoys. Day 2 was Iowa from King Cole, and day 3 was Frederick the Great from Azalane. Yeah, so yeah, she got injured. The heat was awful. Phone reception in the Fringe was dog shit. This was a big problem for everyone, especially when trying to get card payments to work.
Yeah.
We were kind of luckier in the sense that we could go over to that door and, you know, like reach up and get a better signal so that transactions could happen. But it wasn't a good look. Like when you're inconvenience people who want to pay you money, it's you want to minimize it as much as possible.
I was gonna say, just like we were talking about before, with like the slight barrier can potentially stop somebody from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, do you want to try the transaction again, but over by the door? It's like, no, not fucking really. I don't want to buy this anymore. Yeah, they were apparently selling Wi-Fi passwords for like £50. And from what I've heard, the Wi-Fi was like, for the most part, didn't work.
This sounds like a great.
Yeah, that's what I was talking with Artel about this, and he was like saying, yeah, that's the kind of price to expect for like Wi-Fi at conventions, because it isn't done by the event, it's done by the venue, and that's just what the venue charges. So apparently that's like par for the course. But everything else was handled really fucking poorly. From the visitor's perspective, apparently getting in was a pain in the ass, especially on the Saturday, So the Saturday was split into two parts. There was like a morning entry and then an afternoon entry, and you had to like, it was like based on two different tickets as well. But people weren't getting in till like an hour before the convention closed.
Mm.
So like that's pretty fucking bad. Um Food was kind of a concern, I guess. There was 6 food vendors and only 3 of them actually sold food.
Yeah, what the other ones sell?
So one of them was yakisoba. The other one,
Yakisoba's food.
yeah, no, I'm going through
Oh,
all of
these are the
them.
food ones.
Yeah,
Right,
so
right, right, okay.
then there was like another like basically like tempura stand. Yeah, just selling an array of like deep fried shit.
Yeah.
And then a curry roll stand. And then the other 3 was like 2 bubble teas and a deep fried ice cream. So this was like all the food in the convention. The lines were fucking long. Um Especially for like the yakisoba and the tempura, you could be looking to like wait up to an hour.
Mm.
Like the lines like curved around. It was the line for the, yeah, especially for the tempura, it like went back and then past the line for the bubble tea and the curry roll
Mm.
and like looped back like almost up to the stage. I'd have to draw a map to explain this, but the line was fucking long. I don't think I actually ended up. No, I didn't go to the yakisoba one, which was on the other side. But I did end up getting some of the food from there at some stage. Because again, I have the luxury of being able to wait in lines. I'm here for 3 days. Like I have a chance to go see things, but like grabbing food and shit is my priority. Um, but being split, so it was split into the Saturday was split into 2 segments, but there was only 30 minutes between them. So if this was supposed to be like the break in a 10-hour day for like not necessarily staff, but people running businesses, it was really not enough.
Mm.
Like for everyone else in the fringe who didn't have a runner, this was your chance to like go get a drink or food or whatever. And those food vendors that I mentioned weren't selling during this downtime.
Yeah, yeah. I
Which
remember
to
this.
to an extent, yeah, fair enough, but like it's a big fuck you to the other people. So really, it was a chance to go take a piss and like stand in the air conditioned section of the convention. Um, so I think the break should have been an hour, but I also don't run this event. But it does almost lead into the last problem, which was allegedly security. Now, for the most part, me and my girlfriend had a good experience with security, except for like this, what the one big issue everyone will point out, which was on the Saturday, uh, after this whole like 10 hours of dog shit, um, the convention ends at 7 p.m. Except it's like it ends and then there's supposed to be like an hour for vendors and shit to like pack up. But
Mm-hmm.
the moment 7 p.m. hit, one of the security guys whipped out the megaphone and started trying to like corral everyone out. Like from the fringe, which is like as far back as it goes towards like the exit. And there's people there trying to make like sales, and there's some manlet with a fucking megaphone trying to like scream at them, and
Oh yeah.
it's like no, like you don't do that.
Mm.
Um, There's apparently been a mixed bag of like trying to identify what kind of security this was. People like, is this like volunteers? And I don't think it was, because I got the impression that the staff are not weebs, or at least the security wasn't. Like they seemed like they were actually hired to be there.
Mm.
But aside from this one instance, which everyone kind of said was a bad move, mostly because, again, everyone here is a fat lesbian, so being screamed at
Welcome
by
to
a
Britain.
megaphone, like, quote unquote, triggered them.
Yeah.
And I mean, this is kind of one of those instances where, like, I'm inclined to agree.
With you.
That this is like something that can be traumatic for people.
Mm.
But yeah, for the most part, a lot of people allegedly had like bad experiences with security. But my source for this is fat lesbians on Twitter who were apparently there talking about how like security was making jokes about them being fat when they thought they weren't listening. I don't know, but God, some of those fat lesbians. There's literally one there that was so fat that it almost seemed ironic that they were wearing like cow ears and had a septum piercing that was fucking like the septum piercing, the bar in it was like thicker than the fucking shackle on the padlock to my room.
Jesus.
And it's uh I was looking at them a lot while I was sitting down at the stall, just like in awe of this fucking unit. But yeah, that was my experience with what's it called? Hyper Japan. Oh, a lot of the other things about Hyper Japan. Yeah, the entertainment. There was this one guy. I think his name is something English. He's got a fucking set of pipes on him. And he was doing like traditional Japanese like singing opera thing, and I'll need to find a video of it. Link in the description below. But it was pretty fucking impressive. Aside from that, I got some like VTuber merch
Nice.
because there was some VTuber at the convention, like dropping merchandise in like hidden places, and I kind of feel bad for them because I don't think they got anywhere as much interest as they hoped they got.
Hmm.
Because I've got a lot of spare time while I'm sitting at the store. I'm like just like browsing Twitter, like checking all the hashtags, like seeing if anyone's like posting pictures of me or something. And I check this one, and there's like indie VTubers like talking about how they're like doing dead drops throughout the convention. And I don't catch on to this until like 2 hours after they've started. And there's this piece of merchandise they dropped in one of the blossom trees that were like in the middle of the air conditioned section.
Mm.
Like, this is a very prominent, easy to identify place. This isn't like, oh, they stuck a keychain on a fucking fold out seat. Good luck trying to figure out which one it is.
Yeah.
Like, this is honestly the easiest thing to find in the entire fucking convention. And I walk up there 2 hours after it happened, and I just like, oh,
And it's there.
and it's
Yeah.
there, and I pick it up, and then I like tweet back at them, and it's like, and I think I only like I only saw like 3 other things get reported that they were collected out of like 7. I need to go. Now that I'm home, I need to go check some of their content just to like see. But yeah, that happened.
Yeah, you are now automatically promoted to one of their biggest fans now by sheer technicality.
Yeah. I don't know what else there is to talk about the convention. Do you have any questions at this point? We'll take this chance for an interlude.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. We're getting close to like 2 hours
Yeah.
already. So
So we'll say that this is like almost part one. I don't know. Do we want to record multiple parts at once, or
I can't today, but tomorrow we could do another one. Yeah.
but tomorrow's like Sunday. Sunday's like
I mean, it's. I'm pretty open as long as I just have a day or two notice. Pretty
it's
good.
almost like you aren't studying for an exam anymore.
Yeah.
We'll get to that.
Yeah, I'm not prepared to talk about that at this moment.
I mean, we could probably work weekly until we've like burnt through this.
Sure. Yeah.
Sort of a way to play catch up to our loving fans with their
Yeah.
like 6-week drought of Sad Bear on Guy content.
But maybe it might be good to prepare some of this beforehand. I'm not saying like write a script, but like just see it's like try and outline it and see how long we're going to be doing this for. Because I'm happy to put in the time, but I don't necessarily want to be talking about it in 6 weeks' time. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I mean, I'm looking forward, and it's like, I mean, up next is basically just the rest of my time in London. Going around there, going down to south. Tank Museum.
Well, I mean, don't say all this now.
Like, yeah, no, like things to look forward to, I guess. Man eating a Twix and granola. This just like like things I said, like I'm on the train and I saw a man put a Twix bar in like a bowl of muesli and yogurt.
King shit, man. King shit.
Dude, yeah. I mean, I almost want to try it. I'm trying to remember if I watched anything on the planes as well. I know I watched a couple of movies on the way there, but I've like almost since forgotten them. Oh God, what was it? It was a recent one as well. It wasn't Morbius though. I can tell you now, I did not. I almost watched Morbius on the plane, but is he gone? No, he's still here.
I'm here. Hello.
Yeah.
I just don't want to interrupt Morbius, chat.
No, I didn't watch Morbius. I almost watched Morbius, but I ended up actually. So I started Breaking Bad on like the last 3 hours before I got.
You can't
home.
watch Breaking Bad on a fucking plane.
I watched Breaking Bad on I watched Bled. Breaking Bed. I watched Breaking Benjamin on the flight back, and I'm kind of tempted to finish it. Maybe, I don't know.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it seemed alright. Bit of a slow startup. Almost. Like you know, you gotta understand. Like my experience with Breaking Bad up until this point is like the memes.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting here for like 5 episodes watching this dude just like contemplate about killing another man. It's like this isn't the meth kingpin that I've come to know from shit posting.
I mean, yeah, it like I actually just watched I just finished the prequel to Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul ended like 2 days ago. The final episode.
Yeah, I've heard about that. And it's kind of what
I've been in a Breaking Bad mood recently. I think I'm actually going to rewatch it.
Oh, are we gonna watch together? No.
we can do a watch along.
Oh God, what was the fucking movie I watched? I didn't write it down. I thought I would remember. I remember the movies I watched on the way back, and I should write those down now. Um. God, I've forgotten, and I hate myself. I know I watched a movie that wasn't recent though. The thing with Leonardo DiCaprio, where he like pretends to be he is a con man, except not.
Oh, Catch Me If You Can. Great film.
Yeah, that's it. I
Great
watched
film.
that as a like going through browse all 370 movies, not the like Marvel shit that they're trying to like shove down my throat. And yeah, that was a nice walk through memory lane. Again, I'm trying to watch this with like dog shit audio though, so it wasn't fun. I did like when browsing through everything, one anime film on the entire fucking plane. Do you know what it was?
Well, it wouldn't be Ghibli, would it?
No.
Okay, so I don't know. Your Name?
It was Fate Khalid Prisma Ilia, the movie.
Yeah, I would not have got that.
Yeah,
Not gonna lie.
just
no cap. I would not have got that.
I just find it hilarious that like the one anime film that they have is like cunny bait. You know, that they couldn't get something that was had some like respectability to it. They got and although I will say like it's a decent movie once you get past the cunny bait. But I don't expect like 99% of flight goers to be that kind of person. God, it's gonna fuck with me that I'll at you on Discord the moment I remember this movie, and maybe like record a thing by myself where I say the movie was this and put it at the end of this podcast.
The most editing we've ever had on this podcast.
Yes, unironically, the most editing we've ever had on this podcast when I remember what the fuck the movie was. Until then, thanks for coming, everyone. Stay tuned, and you can learn more about the most uninteresting description of the United Kingdom ever.
Yeah, we'll see you all next week.
Bye. The movie I watched was The Batman. It was good.